Thank you, Mr. Farrell. Regarding this bill, I wanted to talk specifically about the expansion of Medicaid eligibility. Do we know how much this will cost?
Say that again.
Do we know how much the expansion of Medicaid eligibility provisions in this bill will cost?
Say that again. It's required by the federal government for us to do this, and because they're making us do it, they will also pay us for doing it. So it will not cost us any more.
With that, just on the clarification it's making, it's because we're choosing to enter in, some states are, some states are not.
Yeah, right.
We're choosing to enter into the Obamacare federal health care plan.
Right, we are.
With this expansion. And how does this expansion differ from what we currently have?
It's more generous in that it's 133% of poverty, so it's a better plan for the people of our community and our state.
So I think, does it go up, I think, from 100% to 133%? Does that sound correct? And you mentioned in your statement that the federal government's paying for this, correct?
Yes.
That in year one, how much are they paying on this program?
500 million. Was that 500 million at the beginning of that? 200 million this year, 200 million this year, 2 billion next year.
So with the growth in the program, though, is it my understanding in year one, the federal government's going to reimburse us 100% for this increased eligibility in year one?
Yes.
And in year 2 and 3, is the coverage from the federal government decreasing to 90% reimbursement?
Yes.
What happens in year 4? Or year 5? Or 6?
I think it keeps. Yeah. Yes, it goes down, but we don't know. We didn't pass the 4th year.
So we don't know what the federal reimbursement will be for year 4 and beyond, correct?
No, not at this point.
Does that concern you at all?
No.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Because I figured it'd be not here.
So with the federal sequestration and the cuts and the fiscal pricing we're facing at the federal level, which we're all aware about, what happens if the federal government decreases that reimbursement for Medicaid?
Well, I think the question would be, for me on that, would be how many people are being covered, how much coverage you're getting, what's the cost of that coverage, and then what is the government charging us to do that better job? Right. And that would be the issue.
Okay. No, I can appreciate that. So really, we don't know how much this expansion will cost in the out years and how it's going to be paid for.
Well, we can go 4 years, which is what we usually go out, and we can't give you those figures. It's after the 4th year we can't say.
If say, the federal government, because of the fiscal crisis they have, they decide to reduce their federal reimbursement to the current rate of 50%, and that would significantly increase costs. So would we end that expansion?
Would we what?
Would we end the expansion if they say we're not going to provide the reimbursement anymore at the level they had set up initially when they wanted us to do the expansion, to get us to expand the program? If they were to reduce their reimbursement, would we end that expansion of the eligibility for the program?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So
I mean, the bottom line of all of this is we believe this will be better health for the state, and we all know that the healthier our state gets, the cheaper it gets for us later.
Is it fair to say then if they do reimburse it, let's say they go down to 50%, the current level, is it fair to say that with the increased costs that we know are coming, that the state will assume that increased burden?
You know, tonight for some reason or other, I'm having to answer questions on wannabes and what maybes, and I don't like to answer those questions because there's so many different facets to every question and a simple question, and so I'm very leery to answer that. You follow what I mean?
I totally understand, Mr. How about just one more question and I'll stop
Surely.
as far as my question. So I guess, is it fair to say if the state will pick up the increase of the costs that we don't know are going to be in the future.
I don't know to the answer. The answer to that is I don't know.
Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Farrell, for your time. Mr. Speaker, on the bill.
On the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, we all know that our Medicaid program costs taxpayers over $56 billion a year, federal, state, and local. We all know that our Medicaid program is the most costly in the nation, and I'm not sure if I have the three states right. Florida, more than Florida, Texas, and Illinois combined, we spent on Medicaid. So with this proposal, we are expanding the Medicaid program on one hand with no understanding of what the future reimbursement costs are going to be, what the future costs are going to be. We have no idea how much it's going to cost New York State and the taxpayers. But on the other hand, tonight, we cut services to the developmentally disabled by $90 million. This makes no sense to me. Where are our priorities? This does not strike me as the right priority for spending our Medicaid dollars. To expand one program with no idea what the costs are going to be while we're dismantling vital services to our most vulnerable New Yorkers on the other hand. For this reason, I will be voting in the negative, and I urge my colleagues to do the same.
Mr. Lenthal.